Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the entire Powerplay season coming up. So obviously the first day today is Duo Showdown. It's going through every single mode from Showdown to Heist, Brawl, all of them different modes, giving you the best strategies, best comps. So yeah, we'll go through each one individually. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the first one, which is Duo Showdown. Okay guys, so starting off with obviously day one, which is today, Duo Showdown, Will of the Wisp. So obviously the first day of Powerplay is going to be really easy, going to be facing off against complete noobs in the first day. So obviously the best comp I recommend is Bow and Surge. That's always going to be the best for Duo Showdown, literally everywhere. But as it's the first day, you can use other brawlers. I like the looks of Brock, Sprout, Mr. P, Piper. There's a lot of different brawlers that you can basically use. Again, I'll just go for what you're comfortable with, but as long as you've got a decent teammate with you, as long as you make no silly mistakes, you should be picking up easy wins inside of this one. As I said, it's the first day, you'll be facing a lot of new players, but yeah, the best combination is going to be Bow and Surge. Alright, so going into the second day, it's Land Ahoy, and it's not really a ton of brawlers that you can go on this bounty map. The real dominant comp on this map is going to be Piper, Double Thrower. You can substitute Piper for likes of Brock. You can substitute for Surge. Maybe if you like a Surge, you can go Sprout mid, because Sprout mid's really good against Piper, Mr. P, Carl. There's only a few brawlers that you can really go on this map. It's a really select amount. Maybe if you're really good Mortis, you can use that to counter Double Thrower. But again, I highly recommend using Double Thrower on each lane. And it's kind of up to you what you use in the mid, but always try and use like a sharpshooter like Brock or Piper. Okay, guys, so for day 3 is Death Cap Trap. One of my favorite gem grab maps because you can go a ton of different mid brawlers. Personally, I like a select out of 3 or 4. I go for Penny, Bow, Jean, or Mr. P in the mid. I really like Penny though, because you can just get that turret behind there and it does so much work once the turret's actually there in a safe place, and Mr. P as well. But go Bow though if you're scared of Poker Double Tank. Bow's a really good counter to that. And then down the lane, normally I only go a few brawlers. Again, I really like the look of Cole. Cole's literally good everywhere. Sandy, this is one of Sandy's best map. Definitely recommend using Sandy here. Surge, again, always going to be really good on this map. You can use Spike, you can even use Rosa. There's quite a few different lane brawlers you can go on this map. But again, it's down to personal preference and what you're really good at, but they're the brawlers that I really recommend on this map. So for day 4 is Solo Showdown at a Dark Passage. So already in the first 4 days, you got 2 showdowns, which is probably better to get them out of the way to begin with. But anyway, for Dark Passage, I feel like it's not really the best showdown map because it's really top heavy spawn dependent on what I've heard. Anyway, if you've got a top spawn, it's pretty good, and if you've got a bottom spawn, it's really bad because there's a lot of bushes and whatnot. But I recommend brawlers that have a bit of range. I personally really like Pam because she's got a high amount of health, high amount of DPS, and she's got a turret eventually, just chip people down from a distance. You've got other brawlers like Surge that are okay, I suppose. You've got brawlers like 8-bit, even like Crow and Showdown, Piper, Brock, they're pretty decent, but I definitely recommend playing Pam. But again, Showdown's just all about being passive, all about trying to get to the last circle. Alright, so day 5 is Bandit Cove, and one of my least favorite heist maps, just because of all the grass in the middle, and it's really dependent on Gale. So you can do it one of 2 ways. If obviously you or friend have got Gale unlocked, you're going to be using Gale with a tank, either Bull or Daryl, just keep launching them in over and over again. And then your third brawler wants to be some sort of hybrid like Spike, Max, Rico, a brawler kind of like that, that's able to both do defense and offense. And then obviously if you haven't got Gale unlocked, you want to be playing with a tank still. Definitely still want a tank in your comp, so like a Daryl or a Bull. And you just want really 2 hybrid brawlers that are able to defend and attack well, so like a Rico, Max, Brock, Spike, something like that. Okay, so now it's day 6, moving into Field Goal and Brawl. The meta is all about either Poker Double Tank or it's about anti-tank. So you can go down 2 different routes, as I said. You can go through the tank route. You can use Poco, Jackie, Carl, Frank, or another tank like that, and just dominate through the lanes and just keep pushing because you've got so much HP with the Poco heals. Or you can go anti-tank, and I normally go for that anti-tank route. I really love being in mid. B's so dominant on this map, and especially good against Poco Double Tank. And then on the lanes, you've got a bunch of different brawlers you can go. You can go Carl, Max, Surge, Spike, Mr. P, or just any kind of brawler you're feeling comfortable on. But they're the brawlers that I highly recommend. And as I said, always just go for brawlers that you're comfortable. Okay guys, so next up is Cell Division, and I feel like there's only really one mid you can go on this map, and it's going to be Piper. So Piper I'll always use with the gadget that extensive range, but then again you can use kind of any gadget. Piper's definitely the mid to use. And then down the lanes, if you've got Surge unlocked, always use Surge. Mr. P is really good down the lane. Carl, as always, really good. He's a brawler that literally everyone's got unlocked, and he's really good with the power throw enable. But if you haven't got any of them brawlers on the lane, definitely recommend something that's good at defending down the left, because there's going to be a lot of aggro brawlers jumping in with the launch pad down the left hand side on this map. So maybe like a spike or something quite defensive like that, that's able to deal with tanks. And then down the right, again, you want to use like an aggressive brawler, so that whether that be like a tank like Rosa or Carl or something like that. So day 8 is going to be Victor Valley Duos Showdown. So again, another showdown mode. And again, it's always going to be Bow and Surge if you've got them unlocked. That's going to be the best duo combination by far. But you can go a lot of different brawlers. I definitely recommend Mr. P and Sprout. That's a good combination as well. You've got Brock, who's going to be good on this map. You've got Piper. You've got Gene, that combines with so many different brawlers really well because of his Magic Puff star power. You've got even Crow, who's pretty decent in Duo Showdown. But again, it's really hard to really split between the Bow and Surge. That's going to be by far the most dominant strategy on this map. Okay, so next up is Junk Park Siege. So this is just like Heist. If you've got Gale unlocked, then you definitely need him in your comp. But if not, you can use the likes of Sprout or Gene in the mid. Always the #1 brawler I'd say I'd recommend is Barley. Barley's best mode by far is Siege. I absolutely love him on Siege and use the heal star power. You're going to be having really good effects. Then obviously if you've got Gale in your comp, I recommend the likes of Barley obviously, and Surge or Gene or a tank or something like that. Then if you haven't got Gale unlocked, as I said, Sprout or Gene in the mid, Barley on the lane, and then you can go either like a tank, a max, or another throw on the lane. So we're now up to day 10, and again it's Sandy Gems Heist. So as always in the Heist, you always want a Gale, you always want a Bull, you always want a Spike or something like that. So if you've got Gale unlocked, use a tank and a spike or something like that. If you haven't got Gale unlocked, I recommend Max. Rico Spike's really good on this map. Brock's really good on this map. Also, there's a lot of BB Shields that's really good in the mid. But as I said, always the same with Heist. It's the same strategy. You always want to be jumping in. Or the opposite, if the other team's got Gale, you just want to stop them from getting on that launch pad. But it's all about the kind of hybrid combination. The tanks always want to be on the enemy safe. And then the other brawlers just want to always be defending and then attacking once their defense job is up. So going into day 11, it is penalty kick Brawl. So this is a really, really tank heavy map. In competitive, the high skill players can actually counter the tanks pretty well. But I would say for ladder and the kind of the kind of skill you're going to be facing, I'll definitely recommend the Poco, Frank, Jackie, or Carl, or Primo, or something like that. Really tank heavy this map is. And I would say the #1, well, the two brawlers you definitely need are Frank and Poco. Them combined are just so good on this map. And then it's just up to you who you choose as a third. But I feel like this one's really easy to pick a comp for. Okay, guys, so for day 12, it is Safety Center, the last showdown on the rotation for Powerplay. So as always, I always recommend Surge on showdown in solos. He's really good, except for the long range maps. He's really good at building them levels up. Again, if you've not got Surge unlocked, I recommend brawlers like Carl. Like BB Shield's actually decent in the mid as well. I've found out Pam's always good. Jackie, Max, Leon, Daryl. There's a bunch of different brawlers you can pick on this one. It's one of the later stages, so you're going to be facing really good opposition. Again, you've got to go brawlers that are comfortable with what you believe are good in showdown, but they're going to be my top suggestions. So day 13 is going to be Deeper Danger Bounty. And the two brawlers that I always see on this map are Sprout and Tip, because they can just cover the grass so easily. And then it's up to you what kind of mid brawler you choose. Normally I'll go for Bow because it's a good hybrid choice. It's good against the double thrower, and it's also good against Poco double tank because of his mines and his gadget. It's able to absolutely destroy tanks with that combination. But if you haven't got that combination unlocked yet, definitely recommend a Jackie in the mid with the double thrower. Or you can go for Poco double tank again on this map. It's so strong. The likes of Jackie are really good. Rosa, Mortis against that double thrower. But yeah, definitely recommend the two brawlers that I'll put into every comp, the double throwers. Okay, so the last map for Powerplay is going to be Crystal Arcade, and I really enjoy this gem grab map because there's so many different options you can go. So I normally like something in the mid, like a Bow, Mr. P, or a B, just because you can deal with tanks pretty well with the Bow or B. The Mr. P is just really good at helping the lanes and just securing that mid as well. And then down the lanes, I've seen a lot on ladder. There's a lot of Rosa because you can just keep creating the bushes. It's really hard for the enemies to scout. You've got Tara that's really good on the lane. Cole's always good on the lane as well. You've got Spike who's pretty decent. Brock is decent. Sandy who's decent. But again, it's just going to be personal preference on what you feel is comfortable, because there's so many different options you can pick in this meta. Okay guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. Hope you really enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of this guide. If you'd like to see more for power play and just general ladder tips and guides, let me know if you enjoy that type of stuff, because I enjoy making these type of videos. But yeah, definitely let me know. But for power play, I feel like I don't really know the interest in power play. Most of my friends and top ladder players don't really play too much power play, just because of showdown. It's really inconsistent. And I know I suck at showdown. I can't get number 1 placing because I always manage to get like a last or something inside of a showdown. So that's by far the hardest mode to play, just because there's so much luck involved. But 3v3 modes, I feel like there's a ton of different brawlers you can actually go. There's a few maps that is really dependent on a few comps, but this meta is really diverse at the moment. Only really Poco dominating on a few modes, but other than that, I feel like you can just go your comfy brawlers, what you feel like is going to work best, and you're going to be having a good time. So that's going to be the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll see you all next time.